It's scenes like these that remind me of how amazing March Comes In Like a Lion is, and how incredible the writer is for it. Because Hina, her display of character, once again, is another human quality. Something that I feel like many has probably come across one point or time in their life. I know for a fact what Hina did in this episode with her expressing concern for, going to, to an expensive school. She expressed concern that she didn't want to make her grandpa work extra hard just to be able to do something. Does he get anything out of it? Is he, being able to get money to do things for his own self? And Hina was worried about this, and it is definitely something that I can personally relate with. I don't know if everyone out there can, but I can relate to it in a lot of ways. And Hina worrying about that, worrying about her being, being happy or going to this school that could be very expensive, I'm just like, yo, this just made me love this series even more, because Hina's always been a likable character. I've always liked her. I've loved her character development and characterization. But her showing concern like that was very adultish, in a way. I mean, even the grandpa, what he said, he's like, it's amazing that you were able to comprehend the fact that money is very vital. Money is very important. And it is. I mean, without money, you really can't do much in this day and age. You really can't. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. And when he said something like that, I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, children really shouldn't have to worry about those type of things. They should worry about, their happiness. They should worry about, their schoolwork, friends, stuff like that at that age. And the grandpa tried to set a good example, but at the same time, he's like, Hina, you are correct, but at the same time, you need to enjoy your life right now, and, it's enough for me to know that you're having fun and being able to have a good school life, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate seeing something like that from this series. It's wholesome. It's something that, just puts a smile on my face. It reminds me of why I just love series like this. So, anyways, let's talk about the scene with Rei, and Rei teaching Hina. So, Rei is now kind of like a sensei. I mean, he's kind of been a sensei here and there for her, but he's being a real sensei right now for Hina to get her to pass the entrance exams to enter his high school. You heard me right. So, apparently Hina, she wants to go to the same high school as Rei, and that's amazing, because that would mean that Rei would be able to somewhat communicate with Hina, keep her in the know. He would have someone he can hang out with in a way and not feel as lonely. I mean, he has friends now, thankfully, but it's just nice to see that, Hina would be there as well. And I know that many are trying to ship Hina and Rei together, but I always viewed the relationship more like a brother and sister type relationship. That's my personal opinion, and I know that technically the age of consent in Japan's completely different, so, that could actually happen, those two becoming a couple. I'm just saying, though, their relationship just reminds me of brother and sister, and seeing how Rei has been helping her out, and he just got bubbly and all that, I'm just like, it's nice to see him make that expression. It's nice to see that this man is going out of his way, using his own time to be able to help out Hina and teach her, different things where she can go to that school. And speaking of which, Hina, she's wanting to go to that school. It's just like, I like that, because that would mean that we would be getting more Hina in this series. I mean, we already get, the sisters enough, but I'm glad to see that if she does get into the school, we will definitely be getting more content of her throughout March Comes In Like a Lion, and I always welcome that, because every time I see those characters on screen, it just leaves me with a big smile, and I'm just happy, because this series is just a blessing, honestly. Every Saturday or Sunday of when I watch this, it just leaves me feeling happy. Like, I have just this joy within my chest. Oh yeah, so anyways, Rei, he also shows how he has changed. And this is something that's very common. We've seen this time and time again, to where the story shows us that Rei has changed. He has opened up quite a bit. And we even get a reminder in this episode with a brief little flashback of Rei just struggling on top of the, the shogi board by himself, and the only thing he ever knew, the only thing that ever kept him going was shogi. And, Hina asked that question, which is it was a very personal question that Hina asked, and it shows that these two have grown very close, but at the same time, it shows that Hina, unexpectedly, she accidentally opened up old wounds for Rei, and how he reacted, it wasn't negative. He just, sucked it up, and he tried to help Hina out in any way he possibly could. For instance, when she's like, hey, Rei, when did you find out that you wanted to be a shogi professional? Like, you want to be a professional shogi? When did you find out? And, that question, it's an obvious and normal question to ask. I mean, a kid or anyone asking you that, it makes sense. It really does. And so, I can't fault Hina for asking a question like that. In some ways, it might seem insensitive to ask something like that, but, at the same time, it's a normal question. I won't fault her for that. And when Ray, as soon as he thought about it, you see these flashbacks of him just being very miserable, lonely, sad, nobody around. The only thing he had was, shogi. In a lot of ways, he has a lot of painful memories of shogi. His entire origin to shogi is painful, but you can see how he still does it this day, and he still enjoys it. He's had a lot of fun doing it in recent times, thanks to opening up and having friends. But, like I said, that's just a contrast to show how much he's changed. But, once again, his reaction to that, his reaction to Hina's question, also displays that he no longer is trying to close himself off, not talk to people. With him talking to Hina about this and giving her true advice without trying to just shy away, it means that this man is willing to take the things that's happening in his life, the problems that's happened, and apply them to himself and to others and help them out. So that was some really nice life experience that Ray showed for Hina to help her out and allow her to figure out what path she wants to take with her life. Speaking of the path she wants to take, that's one of the big messages of this episode. Hina is at a very difficult time in her life. I mean, she's in middle school, and even though she's in middle school, it is at that point in time to where you start getting them goosebumps, where, what am I going to do with my life? And, it's something that I think everybody at one point in their life, maybe not in middle school, maybe somewhere else, they've had this thought to where, like, what am I going to do? What should I do? I mean, can I do it? Can I not do it? I mean, many questions like these pop up in people's heads. I know for a fact I've had these thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. And Hina was a little bit stressed out. She's like, what should I do? What can I do? And she was worrying about the stress of, studying, going to school, falling behind, and all of this. And her way of figuring this out and trying to overcome it was the exact opposite to the bully in the last episode, with how she just wanted to give up and not do anything. What Hina did was the exact opposite, which, like I said, contrasted, just showing how Hina and other people are very different and how they view certain things can be completely different from another. It also kind of comes down to how humans are in general. We all had different ways of handling problems, and that's what Hina's doing. She's handling this own, issue in her own way without, trying to just give up. She has her own way to handle it. Okay, so besides that, there was, once again, more cooking in this episode, and, I once again was reminded of Food Wars. Just seeing the sisters cook and all that, cooking sweets, talking about sweets, just seeing the food from the sisters, I'm like, you know what, like, this is growing on me. Just seeing how they're cooking food and Ray's eating it and all that, it's sweet to see. And I'm like, okay, Food Wars can't get here fast enough, because I have definitely missed foodgasms and stuff, and this episode definitely proves that a lot. And also, I guess that's, I think that's pretty much it. I believe that's it. I think I've covered everything. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. But I believe I have said everything that needs to be said. And like I said, if I have missed anything, let me know. I guess the noodles segment is something I haven't talked about, but it's pretty simple. It just, Ray having fun with his friends and all that, and, the sisters get to see that he's no longer alone anymore. He actually has people that he can rely on. So I guess that's the big point there, but that's about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, be safe. Chibi out.